I want to show is TSMC, 台积電. Again, since this is the focus under the point, everyone look at it. Just this morning, I read a short article, talking about the Morris Zhang Zhongmo, a talk with the Stanford president at the 2014. Stanford 大学校長. Okay, they just have a talk regarding the TSMC history and the situation at the beginning set up. Okay, interestingly, I think people, especially for Taiwanese, look at the TSMC as a holy mountain, right? It's a holy mountain for Taiwan. And also the one of the most safe investing items for stock, as well as the global, the semiconductor industry, the very critical company. So that's why everybody look at the TSMC now. But when the TSMC Morris talking about how it was born, actually we can learn something, from its story. At the beginning, when he was invited to set up the TSMC at the 1985, actually at that time, the executive premier, 行政院长, told him, okay, no problem, the government will support you, the fund will up to the 50%. But the condition is you have to find the finance yourself for others. That's the condition one. And the second is you have to find a multi-international company as an anchor for this investor. 找一家国际的公司啊，大公司啊。Okay, then you could raise other balance the financial, the money. That's the situation. So in front of Morris, actually, he got two difficulties. One is bureaucracy, the government bureaucracy process. He have to navigate all the department to convince, to check, to get the approval. That is the first difficult. So the president, our Stephen said, that is a holy patience. 是一个非常巨大的一个耐心啊 because this bureaucracy, every country, right? At that time, the Taiwan, the efficient government affairs is not that good, at that time. So, and the second, he have to find the investor. Okay, and with the multi-international company. So Morris began writing letter to some company like Intel, like TI, Texas Instrument, 德意啊 and the third is Philips, and others for Japanese like NEC, Hitachi, Sony, and Toshiba. And he write a letter to them to ask them, invite them to invest. But only three companies grant him the opportunity to make a pitch presentation, to them, And okay, the first one is Intel, and the Intel is the founder called Morris, right? There's a Morris, Moore rule, Moore 效应啊 Okay, he said, okay, no problem. I will invite my CTO to have a talk with you. So Morris Zhang flew there 2 times, and with a different 2 meetings. But in the end, they reject. The answer is, sorry, we have no interest at all. That's the first case. And the second case is more, you can say, ironic. He went to the TI because Morris, actually, TI was his former employer, 老东家. Okay, he served for more than 2 decades there, and even he reached the position as the global vice president. So maybe this gave him some hope, but in the end, the same. He flew to Dallas, Texas, Dallas 2 times, but the result the same. Sorry, we have no interest. Let's get the same no. So the only chance, the last one is only the Philips at that time. Only Philips showed the interest about this deal. But for Morris Chang, actually in his mind, Philips in the semiconductor industry actually just play as the second tier. He called the first law of second tier. 第二流的第一排啊 ，okay. If for the semiconductor industry wise, so in his mind actually he said, okay, but that's okay because this is the only chance I can get. Yeah, at that time, yeah. So in the end, he spent about 8 months, yeah, to finish the deal. And the ownership of this TSMC percentage is like government, Taiwan government about 48%, and Philips is 28%, and others balance is Taiwan local company, about 23 or 24% for the 12 or 13 companies. And for Mosa Plastic, Taiwan is one of at that time. Okay, so the total story. There's some highlight here. The first is Intel. At that time, reject him, right? But now Intel is in line, waiting in line for TSMC's advanced technology. Yeah, and even Intel TSMC as a major competitor now. So we can see a lot of news recently. Intel will raise more funds, yeah, to increase the investment in the semiconductor Intel. And the second, what we saw today for those companies like Sony, Toshiba, NEC, Hitachi, we can see the domains they have now is very weak in the market. Almost no sound we can hear because most of the cases by TSMC, by Samsung, yeah, almost domain 80 more percentage of the market, yeah. And the third is the pity is for Mosa. He's one of the investor, of course, at the beginning, but shortly they sold out all the stock. So the news recently just this news say if Formosa didn't sell a lot at that time, even today their stake value is more than the whole Formosa groups. 台塑、蓝牙他们的价值会比目前都还多啊。好 ，if Formosa didn't sell out all those stock at that time, so that's quite pity, yeah. But that's a fact as well. And okay, so from this the procedure and we can see the point is for Morris Chang for TSMC, actually he's a quite pragmatic mind, 非常实际的 okay, because I mean actually people say oh you have a settle for the Philips at that time, 就是你那个将就了。哦，将就随便找一家哦，for Philips at that time. But today, actually, Morris said no, it's not a settle. 只是将就。Actually, this is through deliberate thinking, so come out a decision. So because I guess at that time Morris already saw the future. Maybe 20 years later, he saw the vision. Yeah. So even Philips at that time is not a very high technology company at that time, very strong. But he said, okay, but anyway, he's one of the international company and very good company. So Philips owned the 28%. You know the 28% because my first job is in Philips at that time. At that time, we often heard, wow, Philips sold out some like 3% or 5% and earn a lot of money. At that time, the TSMC maybe just 100 or 200 the value at that time. Okay, so I mean. Philips is very happy, yeah, for the decision that time. Okay, so even now maybe they still have a little percentage, but can you imagine 28%? If today is how much money it is? Yeah. Okay, so the conclusion of this story is almost the successful company. Most of them was not start from the public applause from the people. Actually, they are most of them receive many rejection like a TSMC. But actually not only TSMC, I can show example like a quanta computer. Because at that time, the chairman, Barry Lim, always mentioned the story. At the beginning, there's just a few engineers, few RD guys. And when they submit the first notebook, 笔记型电脑, that type of notebook, to the big customer at that time in US called their computer. Yeah, that's the first notebook at that time. But Barry mentioned that when they flew to their US, they showed the sample. The founder also okay, it just what's this? And they just show some performance. He didn't care. Then just say, okay, this is another good product for me. Maybe there is not satisfied for some performance, maybe at a time. So when they get to Taiwan, the lab, the Barry, they say, at that time we only 5 or 6 engineers. We slept at lab almost 1 week. We didn't go home. We just try to improve, to fix those bugs. Then after that, they resend this notebook again to Dell. Then Dell, okay, say, okay, that's okay. So that's the first starting a business for quantum computing, the laptop. So similar story as the TSM like this. From the small, by rejection, but finally with their efforts, they reach their goal. Yeah.
Another example is NVIDIA, right?
NVIDIA is one of, yes, is one of. He almost died, NVIDIA almost died. So the Seagate, the Japanese Seagate, yeah, help him, the financial him. So that's why he, Jason Huang, so far still appreciate, okay, the Seagate, say, oh, he was really my benefactor, 我的贵人啊, without him, actually without NVIDIA today. So sometimes people need a benefactor or some luck. Yeah. But anyway, every successful is come from a difficult step. Yeah. So that's a story I read this morning. My sharing. Thank you.